What's going on, guys? Amy Nicholas. Got a different setup today. Just decided to show my trading setup in the background here. If you are new to trading, by all means, don't think you need to go all out like I did. I've been a business owner for, this will be my 10th year, online businesses, and I've just accumulated nice equipment, I guess, over the years, because I was like, I'm gonna write it off as business expenses. So anyways, I actually just added this tall monitor over here yesterday, which is so nice to be able to read the charts. Like, I love my curved monitor, which you can kind of see. But I like to have the two screens, and looking at the iPad just wasn't big enough. So anyways, today's video, I wanted to just give like a overall weekly recap of where I'm at. So Monday, I posted a video about a profitable day. I made 48 bucks. Woo! And then I wanted to share what Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday looked like and where am I at so far for the week. So Tuesday, got my trading journal here. Tuesday was a red day. That did not go the way I wanted. I took a total of, good gosh, I took 8 trades, and some of them were for very small position sizes. Let's see, what was I? I was red, and then I had green, and ended the day with 2 reds. So I ended up with a total of, is that right? 1750 in loss. Yeah, I lost 1750. So my max loss right now is $20, but lately have found myself kind of stopping somewhere around like 15 to 18-ish, because it's like, like it kind of puts the pressure on for that, one more trade. I can just walk away, or and in this case, Tuesday, I think I just over traded, like, after I was green a couple times, which was great. But the position sizes at that point, I was just going in very small to just try, and just play with, see what I, could get a couple. And unfortunately, none of them were large enough position sizes to set me back into the green. So yeah, and then I just kept trying after that. And I was only trading ETFs around Tesla. So TSLR, which is the long on Tesla, you think it's going to go up. TSLQ is the short or bearish ETF on Tesla, thinking it's going down. So that day, it looks like I was kind of half and half. I was trying both sides of the market. just seemed like I was getting stopped out. My first couple trades, yeah, I was shorting it. And then the ones that were green, 2 of them were TSLQ and 1 was TSLR. So, Tesla is just, you can see behind me, it's all over the place in terms of weird volatility these days. So yeah, that one, I wrote in my notes, I should have quit after trade number 6, could have ended on, green, or at least ended on a green trade. Not necessarily I was profitable, but yeah, I think I put in here market too choppy and the ranges weren't wide enough to make a decent profit, which, was kind of frustrating, because it's like, you want to get in at the right entry and you want to get out at the right exit. But sometimes the ranges are so tight, and when you're trading these ETFs that mirror the main stock, like I could just trade Tesla itself, right? But then I'm paying, $260, $70 a share. I'm only going to have a handful of shares, whereas I could buy TSLR if I think it's going to go up, and I can buy, more than 5 times as many shares. So that's why I trade these ETFs, and they're very liquid, these two, TSLR and TSLQ. So I never have concerns that like there's not enough volume trading them. There's tons of people trading these things. So, okay, so looking at Wednesday now. Wednesday was a green day, but not as green as I would have liked, in the sense that it didn't make up for Tuesday. So this is one of the challenges being a new day trader. It's like, you want to, of course, be more in profit than you are in loss. So you reach for these trades where you can say, okay, I think I see opportunity here to 2x, what I'm risking. Doesn't always work out that way, right? Like sometimes you get stopped out. And in this case on Wednesday, I think a couple of times I got stopped out with a trailing stop loss. So instead of me losing money, some of the time I was actually up, but then my stop loss was set like around 40 cents. So if the stock moved up, but then started to retrace, it was going to stop me out at the 40-cent level. That makes sense. But that's why some of these trades were good. Yeah, I had a green one to start the day and I goofed and only bought one share, and it was the best trade of the day. This was the frustrating part. And again, it's going back to being new, learning the systems and things. I was glad that at least I didn't accidentally buy 100, but I hit the button and it went on auto send by accident. I had a checkbox for auto send on Thinkorswim, and it immediately bought one share, and I didn't know what had happened. I didn't know how many shares I'd bought. So I started hearing the thing go off, and I'm like, oh crap. And that ended up being the best trade because I ended up profiting on that one share, 75 cents. So had I put in the amount I was actually trying to buy, which was 25 shares, yeah, would have been a good day. After that was red. Trade number 5 was green. And then the last one, I think the trailing stop kicked me out. I think it was red. So profit of $3.15 on Wednesday. And again, it could have been better, just newbie error and learning curve here, trying to figure things out. But the good news was yesterday I decided to write a specific plan of what were confluences, or like, these are the things that are going to have to line up in order for me to take a trade, right? So I wrote down one that I would look at the VWAP, like the volume weighted average price line, and see if the where we were at in price, for example, in Tesla, was it above the VWAP or below it? If it's hovering right there, I don't take a trade. I want to get confirmation that we're going above or we're going below. So that's one of my indicators. Also, I've switched to looking more at a 3-minute chart versus a 5-minute chart. I still keep the 1-minute chart up on Thinkorswim, so I can kind of like gauge, what's the sentiment right in that 1 minute. And then I look at the 3-minute to kind of get like more of the trend. And I decided to just shorten that time frame. So I had to go in and set a custom time frame on Thinkorswim because the defaults are like 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, right? So you just have to go in there and select a custom time, and then you can enter 3. And then also I put the MACD crossover. So I'm looking to see on the MACD, which, I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah, you can kind of see it on this chart here. Okay, so MACD line's here, right? The bottom of my chart. This is Tesla right now. You can see this far, but we've got our white line here and our signal line's kind of like way down here, the yellow one. That's a signal. Anyways, we want this to be pointed clearly in one direction. And if I think I'm gonna go long and this thing starts to curl and point down, no, we're not going long, right? So waiting for confirmation. Sometimes it's flat and you just don't know. You don't know which way it's gonna go, right? So I wait on those, the ones that are indecisive, I wait. And then if that number is negative, which right now it's actually positive, that would be an indication to possibly go long based also on my other confluences. Like, are these other things lined up for me to take a trade? And you can kind of, I don't know, there's a doji of indecision over here. So right now that MACD line is sort of just like, it's just kind of hovering. But anyways, those are like my 3 things. I decided, I was going to look at all these 3 things to make sure they were lined up in order for me to jump into a trade. And that came out of my crazy day on Wednesday. So we're making progress here. Okay, so Thursday, today, March 6th, the market was weird today in the sense of the first 10, 12, 15 minutes, it was very challenging to figure out where is this market even going. Like Tesla was kind of like selling off at the open, and then it was sort of floating, and then it was just chop, 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 chop. And it was like, I don't know which way to go. I don't know whether to short it or go long, right? So it was very just hard to read, So I took, let's see, 1, 2, I usually number my trades. I took 4 trades today. I was proud of myself for walking away because what I noticed about today was the setups just weren't there. I looked at some other stocks. I looked at Palantir, SMCI, NVIDIA, and I just really didn't feel like I had anything great to trade that kind of fit my strategy. I like to trade things that are momentum and that I see a big enough range where either I can go long because it's down, and it's starting to move back up, or I can short because it's at a high and it's coming back down. There was nothing really trading in a big enough range to make it worthwhile to get in, although I did try, a couple of times. So mostly, let's see, I did 2 thinking, TSLRs, thinking it was, let's go long on Tesla. Number 3 even was TSLR. And number 4, I decided to short it. And that one was the only one that I got right out of those. I probably should have shorted it in the beginning, but again, the ranges were so tight, I just didn't feel like I was gonna get enough of a move to make it worthwhile. And it seemed like Tesla wanted to go up, like, VOO, S&P was going up, Q was going up. So it kind of felt like the market wanted to go, green, but it just kept stopping me out, basically. So the first trade I lost $2.73, the second trade I lost $9.92, the third trade I lost $2.19, and finally on trade number 4, I profited 90 cents. So again, what I was kind of saying earlier about trying to go for those trades where you've got a better risk to reward ratio. And it just wasn't there today. Like I was like, well, maybe, trade 3 or 4, I can try to recoup like the one I lost like $10 on or something. But I had the max loss of 20 and, ended the day down $13.94. And I just was like, I'm just going to walk away. There's nothing standing out here that's worth getting into, that's showing me enough, again, risk to reward. I could have said, okay, I've got, $6 left here to play with, and it's like, you can't even buy enough really of a share size to make up for the $10. So I just decided, we'll come back another day. So my stats for the week, Monday green, Tuesday red, Wednesday green, Thursday red. So I'm half and half. I'm literally 50-50 on the week right now. And then I think, what did I put on my notes? Oh, so I'm trying to get in the habit of writing this in my trading journal of like, what am I feeling as I'm writing the post trading? Like what was I feeling while I was actually in the trade, and trying to document that because I know that it affects my decision making. And what I noticed today was I was frustrated. There wasn't great setups. I was frustrated that, I probably should have just gone in smaller on the one that I took like the $10 loss, even though it's like $10. I think I bought, so many shares I bought on that one. Oh, I didn't actually write it. I usually write the share size beside. I think it was like 20 or 25 shares of TSLR. And, I could have I think that one, it quickly turned away. Like I was not down very much, and then all of a sudden, it was hitting my stop. And I could have tried to bail out sooner or something. There was nothing going in my direction of take profit. So it wasn't even like I could have, had some green to take. And yeah, I think this market is so volatile that I'm leaning now more and more, even if there's a good setup to go long, it's just feels easier to short stuff because what goes up comes down, like everything, right? So just being patient. One of the things I was considering too is setting alert to my phone to potentially come back to trade later in the day. Like if I haven't hit my max loss for the day, there might be another potential later that morning. Maybe some point during the day, Tesla's making big moves, which it did as I was just about to record this video. I happened to, pull it up because I wanted it on my chart in here. And I don't know if you guys can see this, is huge green candles. This thing jumped from 261 to 265 or 66. I can't wait to see the tail there. And I watched it as I'm getting ready to do my setup here, and I'm like, I would have loved to take that trade, but I'm not prepared. It's freaking 12:15 Pacific here, so 3:15 Eastern. I was just this move was happening though 11:50 I think my time, so 1 about 2:50 p.m. Eastern time. And it's such an odd time. Usually the last hour you might see pickup in the market, but it hadn't even hit 3 o'clock yet, so it was weird. But yeah, I think maybe it's just something to consider. if you normally trade at a certain time of day and you're getting like these crappy setups and stuff like that, and you're just like, okay, because I felt like this happened also on Wednesday. Wednesday was another day like this. And really even yesterday was kind of, or sorry, yesterday was Wednesday. Tuesday, even though it was green on Tuesday, is that right? So I have a journal, right? They're starting to all blur together. No, maybe it was, yeah, even though it was green yesterday, it felt like the same issue. And then Tuesday it was red. Same issue of the setups just weren't amazing. And I feel like in the past I've had more chances to grab a move. You know, Tesla would make these jumps from like, you know, it would jump like $5, $10 at a time. And that's just not happening right now. It's like these $1, $2, maybe $3 if you're lucky jumps, and it's not enough momentum to really profit from, right? So anyways, guys, just sharing the journey, just keeping it real, like, you know, no Lambo in the background or anything. Just getting going here. Like I said in my other video of when I was doing this for 3 months, yeah, pretty much December, January, February, 3 full months, and we're into March now, so I'm entering my 4th month of day trading. And I've been really consistent. There was some days the last month in January where I took a day off because I was just like, I don't see a setup. And I think that's perfectly fine too. Like, you know, if it looks like crap tomorrow, screw it. Like, I'm just not going to trade, right? I'm just not willing to risk capital that I want to grow and not just throw away, right? It's like, let's be smart about this. You know, if there's just a bad setup that day, if your normal stuff that you're used to trading, your strategy is just not lining up, just walk away. Say like, no, I'm not going for it today. And I think that's a decision that can keep you profitable, right? Like I could still walk away this week and be like, I'm green. I'm only up like, I don't know, $18 or something, but I could walk away and say, I'm not trading on Friday, I'm green, I'm just going to end on the green. If I trade tomorrow and my max loss is 20, I could end up negative for the week. So I'm kind of like, what feels right, go with it, right? If you don't feel comfortable like taking losses, you know, or something, reduce share size or walk away. This is the best tips I can say. Number one, the thing that helped me overcome like fear of losing money was reducing share size. To the point of stupid, like I'd trade 1 share at a time just to kind of execute, look at the chart and say, okay, let me just see if I can nail this. You know, let me see if my timing of entry is right. Let me see if I can exit correctly. It takes away the panic mode of like, oh my gosh, you know, like watching the P&L, like seeing your money just go down. You got 1 share and you got a stop loss. You're only, you know, for me, it's like 40 cents. Like, okay, I can handle that. But it's more about like, let me just play with the execution. Let me just practice and practice and practice. And for me personally, I found it much more effective to practice with real money than to do a demo account. I just decided to go very small and trade 1 share. And you know, it's funny. I don't have the book in front of me, but I talked about it in my last video that came out on today, which is Thursday, about like how I learned to day trade. There was a book I mentioned in there, and actually, I think I've heard this twice now. Studies in Tape Reading, a really old book from 1910. And then there's a book that's Jesse Livermore's story, the famous trader who got like super rich during the stock market crash of 29. There's a story written about him. It's his life, but they put a different name to it. It's called Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. And in both of these books, they talk about this idea of just trading very small, just to overcome like your insecurity, your fear of losing money, like, is this right trade? Is this wrong trade? And they recommended 10 shares to start. So, you know, if you find a stock that's relatively inexpensive, 10 shares isn't going to be like a ton, go for it. I just like to do the 1 because it's like, you know, keeping my losses like this small, right? In order to, when I have wins, I don't have to have these giant wins because I'm not losing tons of money that I'm trying to recoup, right? So anyways, guys, I hope you like this video. Feel free to come back and see more of the videos. Got some stuff about day trading, got some stuff about long-term investing, and be happy to have you come hang out with us. I'll see you on the next one.